Welcome everybody to a new edition of PMF Connect, the 25th edition we have now today. My name is Julia. I'm working for Product Management Festival, organizing our conferences, but also doing a lot of other things. I'm just going to share shortly about what we're doing at PMF, and then I'm going to switch to our guests today who have a lot of interesting things to share. This session will be recorded so you can access it after or share it with your colleagues or friends who might need it. And please ask questions. There will be some time at the end of the meeting for them. And if you still have questions, you can always reach out to the speakers or to us and let us know how we can support you. Just shortly about why we're doing Product Management Festival and what other things we're doing. So basically we have a conference which happens every year in November in Zurich, Switzerland, and you're welcome to join us. I know it's been a crazy year, but if you're able to come and be with us this year on 10th, 11th of November, we're going to have a discount code for you today. And otherwise, feel free to join our online meetings. We do every couple of weeks PMF Connects, but we also have PM Nights, which are currently virtual. You can see them on our webpage. And apart from these, in case you are a product leader, we have specific meetups for product leaders. And just reach out to me and let me know in which city you are, and we can connect you to the organizers. Or if we don't have a meeting for product leaders, we're always looking for willing community members to help us start one. Right now, we also have the Trends and Benchmarks survey going. So you can see it on our website, in our newsletters. What we're doing there is collecting data, which we will be sharing then with you. So it's a lot of information regarding what is the average salary of a product manager in a certain location. So if you answer the survey, you contribute to this, you can represent your country. The more people fill it out, the more accurate this information will be. And it's absolutely, we do it for free for the community. So some 15 minutes you dedicate. Be having a new edition of Product Management Executive Program in Paris. It's the first edition in person we're running since 1.5 years. We're very happy to do it. If you're interested in this executive education program and want to know more, the information is on our website as well, but you can just reach out to us and find out if this is the right fit for you. Basically, the program aims for leaders to help out product leaders to get in CPO roles, or if you're already in a role and feel like you're a bit overwhelmed, this is the right program as well. And as I mentioned, we're offering today a discount code. This is not available outside of this meeting. So thank you to ThoughtSpot. We did this meeting and you can benefit from the discount. These are some of the speakers which will be attending this year. This is valid for you, but also for your colleagues. If you want to share it, you won't be able to find it otherwise outside of this PMF Connect. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm going to switch to our main guests for today, who are here to share with you their experience for the past few years so that they can support you as well. Daniel Nazeriha and Filipa Costa. They're gonna talk today about how you can build engaging data apps while having embedded search-driven analytics. It's a very specific topic, but if this is the right thing for you, I cannot think about better people to hear about it than them. And with that, I will leave you in their company. Don't forget, you can ask any question. We're going to take them at the end of the session. Thank you, Daniel. You can take over the floor.
Thank you very much for that. And welcome, everyone. Just going to go ahead and share screen to get that working, and then we can kick this off. I can also see one of our guests are using the chat to say hello to everyone. Feel free to get social, post your questions there, and we can come back to the end of the session and try to answer as many of that as possible. Hi, David. I'm from London, by the way. That's where I'm presenting from today. And I'm working at ThoughtSpot. I'm a sales engineer. I've been with the company for almost 2 years. I love BI and data. That's what I've been doing with different vendors in this space for the last 10 plus years. And I'm very excited today to be joined by Filipa. Filipa Costa is a solution manager at HMR. She has worked in the healthcare industry since 2009. And she joined HMR in 2019 with responsibilities including innovation and portfolio development. And this is about the time we met about 18 months ago. She and I and other colleagues met together, and we were discussing how ThoughtSpot could possibly be a platform for changing how HMR is monetizing on the data, delivering data applications to the market. And the rest is history. So we're going to be talking about that for you as well today. But yeah, if you're new to ThoughtSpot, I just want to give you a bit of background to that to begin with. So about 10 minutes or so, if you bear with me, to give you a bit of background to what ThoughtSpot is about. We are in the BI space, but we also used as a way to power data applications. So I'm going to talk through that background with you, pass it over to Filipa so that she can tell and talk to you about how they have done it at HMR. And at the end of the session, I will come back again and I will give you an overview of the ThoughtSpot platform for the purpose of building data apps and the art of the possible, what you could do with it in your organization. So here we go. So for those of you new to ThoughtSpot, our mission is to drive a more fact-based world through the analysis of data. And just to sort of, let's see, just stuck with my slides. Here we go. So the issue and background is the ability to understand data has never been so important before, right? We have seen this how data is affecting politics and news, or increasingly how social media giants are presenting information to masses of people. And every day we spend as people, we spend 7 hours online swiping and searching and doing things that is just generating more data. The actual daily rate for data generation is over 1 trillion megabytes every day. So in the past decades, we also have seen data being stored in traditional databases and data warehouse platforms. More recently, we have witnessed the rise of data cloud like Snowflake as the world's digital data moves to the cloud, where it can be more efficiently managed and consumed. We have also witnessed the explosion of data-driven applications that are digitally native. These are apps that are easy to access, easy to use. They let the users generate and consume lots of data within them. So these apps are designed to help you search, make sense of data, derive insights so you can do something better, take more informed decision-making in a process. Think of apps like your day-to-day applications in fitness and health apps that may help you to track your steps and meet health goals, or a sales app in an organization that can help you search and find products, do a better recommendation to a customer. The fact, though, is building these apps can be difficult. Also, capturing the insight from the data from those applications can be very difficult. Product builders are familiar with the latest programming tools, but there are a lot of other considerations when working with data to build the most elegant, the most interactive experience in the apps that actually the users expect from you. Considerations could include managing your connections to the cloud data warehouse, integrating the latest chart libraries, integrating dashboards that are created using some difficult to use BI tools, possibly building in triggers in the application to drive actions and business workflows. So in short, building data apps is hard. And the fact is the adoption rate for analytics tools is only 35%. That is as of last year. One of the biggest challenges is the retention. Your users are flooded with new apps on a regular basis. App volume grew 73% between 2016 and 2020. But how many apps is anyone really actively using? User retention drops quickly. You have to find a way to truly create an experience that keeps your users wanting to come back for more. And at ThoughtSpot, we believe every data app should have embedded analytics, and every product builder should be able to build a data app with embedded analytics. This is why we were founded, to make access to data easier through search and AI-driven insights for everyone, for users, from companies big and small, for everyone, from the business user to the developers and everyone in between. We work with an incredible ecosystem of cloud partners too, like Snowflake, AWS, Microsoft, and others that deliver cloud scale consumer grade analytics so that we can help you build a modern data stack. And architecturally, here is a good representation of the ThoughtSpot platform, which is from the ground up purpose-built for search. It's for ease of use, it's for scale, and also with governance in mind. So at the bottom of the diagram, you can see the most common cloud data sources, warehouses, and lakehouses we connect to. And we are pushing the queries via live query down to that source. Once you connect to the source and select the relevant tables, we index the data, not just metadata, but values as well. And this is part of how we make it easy for anyone, including all the non-technical users in mind, to ask net new questions out of the data, get answers instantly, have insight to the most granular detail in your data, even when we're talking about billions of recorded data sets. And then you can create on top of that a logical data model we call a worksheet. That's where you put your data model in for search. You bring data sets together, create calculated metrics. You can update metadata descriptors and so on. And then we get to the key ingredients, right? A couple of things here that I really need to highlight. The Search IQ technology that drives our search engine. It handles complex queries across data sets. It's got its intelligent type ahead, so you can type character by character and see what's coming. It uses usage-based ranking to generate the most relevant and personalized search results for the users. And then the other bit is Spot IQ. It's an AI engine that generates automated insights on the data within that context of user's journey when analyzing data to uncover and rank insights from massive amount of data sets for them. Think about it as helping a user in an automated way to find the why behind the what they see on the screen. On top of all this, then is the ThoughtSpot capabilities that allow you to take the search, analyze and create visualizations, and a set of developer tools that help you build the data apps and embed all of that from ThoughtSpot, including a comprehensive set of APIs, JavaScript, SDK, the ability to create custom actions, and a developer playground that I want to show you in a bit. So we are in the business to help customers embed search and AI-driven analytics inside their apps with a very developer-centric and friendly platform. A couple of highlights here worth mentioning. The Search API is what you're using to easily embed the search as a service into your apps. The Action API allows you to transform and automate business process with custom actions and build workflows. The Visualization API allows you to do the embedding of charts and tables and pinboards or dashboards, so to say. My favorite bit is the developer background and the playground inside where you build and test data apps in a real-time interactive portal. Again, as I said, we're going to look at that. And there is also other things, the ThoughtSpot modeling language, which is scriptable. We allow developers to define, package up, and deploy custom apps with a very low-code, friendly, scriptable experience. And all of this is done with the elasticity and scale of cloud in mind. So here is if there's three key takeaways I would like everyone to remember after a call with us is the following. The first thing you get from ThoughtSpot, which is really differentiated in the market, is the search. The interactivity and the flexibility of embedding that search is giving your users a new way to get answers to all the variety of questions that they might have that a dashboard is just not satisfying. The second bit is actions. The key thing here is having extensibility in your data app, Imagine bringing data insights directly into your customers' favorite business applications and helping them to drive smarter actions and unlock more value. And finally, the developer experience is really good. ThoughtSpot Everywhere is designed to give the developers a fantastic building experience with flexible APIs, easy customizations, and more. So in terms of pixel perfect dashboards, yes, they are good, but they are always the starting point in analytics. What happens when people get dashboards and they see this on the left-hand side in my slide is that they have more and more questions. And this is really where dashboards stop and ThoughtSpot begins. Because if you haven't seen ThoughtSpot in action before, the visualization on the right, so it gives you the first look into what search is like. Search, it allows you to ask questions after questions, getting to your second, third, fourth, fifth level question in a matter of seconds and minutes, right? We try to bring that fantastic consumer web experience into our design thinking as we think about what does it mean to have a modern, familiar search interface and go beyond the dashboard to get all the granular insights to your users so that they can take action. And that requires a paradigm shift. Then adding to that is the AI-driven search functionalities. The intelligent search indexing takes all the raw data for you and indexes it and makes it available to the end users. The smart result ranking learns from usage to provide more relevant search suggestions and directions to the users so they are on the right path. Search handles also complex queries with ease, understands complex table structures automatically and does on-the-fly joins for you. The query performance is unmatched. It scales across billions of rows of data for you in a warehouse. And this is all running on enterprise-grade security and governance in mind. So it's sort of fulfilling those requirements. Now, you can save individual search results into a pinboard. We call them interactive pinboards because they are a collection of those answers that are saved, but you can drill in anywhere you want in the granular details within that answer, and the user can go and answer second, third, fourth, fifth questions really easily in that form. Then they also have the data storytelling mode where they can go and change and edit and drag and drop things around to create their own sort of live dashboards, if you like. All it takes is one click to share the final results with people. You can share charts, pinboards, data models with groups of users or individual users. And you can present your story in a big screen. It's got its own full screen presentation mode as well if needed. And then going beyond the core capabilities of searches and live pinboards, ThoughtSpot Everywhere then allows you to provide the ability to take action upon those insights, unlock new values for the business. When we say actions, it means like you can drive an action from your app and automate business processes between other applications like Slack, Salesforce, Google Docs. For example, there is an action API, and this is just a few examples of what can be done with that. And finally, all of this is powered with speed and scale of cloud. ThoughtSpot Cloud connects to your data live with Embrace so you can get the most timely insights. You just connect to the data and start searching quickly within minutes. And here's where I want to wrap up and hand over to Filipa. Just some other use cases worth mentioning. At Just Eat, they use ThoughtSpot for a use case called Order Analytics. It's powered by ThoughtSpot Everywhere, called Just Data. It provides self-service capabilities for all Just Eat's key account managers and 90+ branded restaurant partners. They get insights like ordering times, delivery rates, and so on. It took one developer under 3 weeks of work to launch the first version out to the market. It went from 60 to 600+ users in 10 months. So 600+ users, active users monthly that are performing 17,500 searches every month. That's a phenomenal adoption rate. And at various, the use case there is about claims analytics. The integration is helping claims professionals catch errors, report on progress, benchmark performances. They had a huge amount of canned reporting in the business that they just eliminated by using ThoughtSpot instead. Legacy reporting system has been retired. They expected and have delivered the elimination of more than 100,000 reports annually. They had 90,000 users requesting over 2,500 reports monthly. Now with ThoughtSpot, because anyone can go and answer their own questions on the fly, they have reduced the wait time for insight from 1 week to minutes. And for the developer team who were always dealing with that backlog, it means 40% increase in productivity because they have time for other things. And the overall effect is reduced claim cycle from 6 months to 2 weeks for them. So I thought that would be interesting to share with you, but I'm going to stop screen sharing and hand over to Filipa to talk to you about the amazing journey at HMR.
Thank you, Daniel. I will do my best to present, I would say, a very interesting use case of how ThoughtSpot helped HMR, but also not only internally, but also the way we provide our solutions to our customer. Before that, just giving you a brief overview of what we do in HMR. So HMR is a market studies company focused on providing market knowledge and insights to the pharmaceutical industry. We gather information from, I would say, the largest panel of retail pharmacies that we have in Europe. So we have more than 1,000 pharmacies that provide directly to HMR whatever is happening in the pharmacy. So who is buying, what is buying, and based on that, we provide market data to the pharmaceutical industry, which is, I would say, critical for their business decision-making process. We began in Portugal in 2009, and since then we have expanded our footprint to also Spain and Ireland and develop a different suite of solutions and studies, focusing not only of what is happening in the retail pharmacy, but also in mass market chains and also in the hospital in Portugal. When we started to have, I would say, a pandemic world, which is obviously a crazy world for all of us, we embraced this challenge as a new opportunity to be disruptive on how HMR was delivering their solutions, their services, and also the knowledge to our customers. And in 2021, beginning of this year, 2020, we started our journey with ThoughtSpot to begin to develop a new way in which HMR would use their information for internal purposes, but also how HMR would deliver this information to our customers. So just to give you an overview of what we had before, HMR, based on all of the information that we gather, we basically have internal processes to build the market studies. And based on these processes, we then would provide to our customers either static dashboards where they could understand how the market would be performing, and also some specific data that we would provide through Excel and specific add-ins to provide a large amounts of information through Excel. Obviously, this has a lot of constraints. Not only in the information is hard to be accessible from different users. From HMR perspective, we would have different files and databases copied and be provided to the different customers, and some customers would have exactly the same type of information. So imagine the large quantities of data that we would have to accommodate in our data warehouses. The user experience obviously would not be as it is easy with other type of solutions that we can provide or that we can find in the market. It would not be online. and from also our perspective, we would not be able to understand what would be happening with the information that HMR would be providing to our customers. So as soon as I have a file, I can do whatever I want with the file. And that will obviously would bring from our perspective constraints in terms of governance and security. So we, at the same time, we could look at the market and see that we have a more technological life for all of us. We would not be in that space as a company, and how we would provide this information to our customers. And at the same time, our customers would need or expect higher level of services and smart and more relevant information. So the goal was to embrace this challenge with ThoughtSpot, making sure that we would be able to provide smart and fast information, a better user experience we could very easily scale our solutions, which would be a challenge for us at the time, and making sure that we would be able to audit whatever was being explored and used from our customers to our information, and above all, be more relevant to our customers, give them the more insights and valuable information that could support their decision in a daily basis. So that's why we started this journey with ThoughtSpot. We developed HMRIA, IA meaning Health Artificial Intelligence Analytics, and the goal was to change completely the paradigm of how HMR would be delivering information. And I'm saying change completely the paradigm because this meant for us having a unique platform to share all of HMR knowledge, meaning data, with all of the benefits that Daniel was already sharing with us earlier. And above all, a platform that could be natively with artificial intelligence features, meaning that in the end, our customers would be also benefiting from this. And one of the things that I would like to highlight from our use case is that we use ThoughtSpot not only for internal purposes. So this is our tool to explore the big amount of information that we have in HMR, but also we have this platform with all of the security and privileges that we need to be accessible from our customers. And each of our customers has specific information that have access to. So this is a quite complex use case, but that we manage very successfully to implement together as a team. In the end, we ended up not only benefiting ourselves as HMR, but also our customers. And from our perspective, obviously, we increased the experience that our customers have from our information and from our solutions and products. As of today, we have a platform that is easily scalable to other type of data, other type of solutions that we want to provide to our customers. And one of, I would say, key features that we also were able to achieve with ThoughtSpot, together with ThoughtSpot is, and also Danielle mentioned this, is that our customers and also ourselves are able to use this platform in a very easy way. So the different profiles, either business profiles, technical, analyticals, all of the different roles that we can find internally, but also in our customers, are able to use HMRIA in a very easy way. So and for us, this would be very important because we don't want to have our customers dependent on very technical profiles inside their companies. And for us, which was also interesting is the pricing and the business model of ThoughtSpot. So we can have as many users as we have, and we have a lot of users from our customers, and we don't have any incremental costs associated on that. From our customers, Obviously, the experience increased largely, but there's a lot of features that for them would be very disruptive when comparing with an Excel file. They can search and explore information using natural language, as easy as we use Google and other on our life when we want to look at something. It's very easy to follow performance indicators from their perspective. We have Spot IQ, which makes our lives easy when we want to understand what's happening in the market. And they have all of the ability to build their own dashboards, continuously look for additional analysis, and still have the ability to download or receive alerts whenever there's a relevant insight to each of their perspective. Where are we now? So HMR is fully using HMRIA, powered by ThoughtSpot, internally and with our customers assessing it. We have more than 700 users using on a daily basis HMRIA, and this is a platform that is being used not only in Portugal, but also in Spain and Ireland. So this is a multi-country platform in a single point of access, even helping and supporting Iberian companies and multi-country companies that have access to our information. This obviously supported our sales process. We differentiated when comparing to the competitors that we have in the specific market that we work on, and this was a major point to that perspective. And we also were able to, through a business model that we have defined for this platform, were able to grow in terms of revenue inside not only the customers that we have, but also in new customers. But I would say that better than explaining you this, I believe this will work well. I will show you a live demo of HMRIA. So this is my login. I'm inside HMRIA. And if I wanted to explore something, I could very easily go into my search bar and explore whatever I want to look for. And I believe COVID is something that is familiar to all of us. So if I wanted to understand what is the performance in terms of values of the products, the test that we use to test if I'm a positive or negative to COVID, I could use our classification of these products and just click on enter. And I would say that in Portugal, no time period. So since every time, since the beginning of COVID and where we started to have these products being sold in the pharmacies, we have 14 million that were already bought. And I will continue to explore something, but I want to show you the power of Spot IQ. So I will just ask Spot IQ to analyze this information, and this will allow me to show you the power and how Spot IQ can help us, and all of the analysis that Daniel was sharing with us just before. So there's some attributes and measures that Spot IQ is suggesting me to use. I will just select some of them. I could use all of them if I wanted, but I want to have this date, one of the regions that we use here in HMR, products, counties, and I will take that. So Spot IQ will analyze this while I will continue to show you how I could explore. So if I wanted to see, okay, but I want to know how the sales were on a monthly basis. Okay, I can see that there's obviously upwards trending, specifically in July, but did something happen to this? So how did the price of each of the tests impacted the sales of these products? And I can see obviously there were tests being bought to a higher price in average than in July, but to be honest, it's quite earlier than the July. So maybe not exactly the price was impacting this peak of July. So I will continue to explore. I want to look at July 2021 and maybe try to understand what could be the reason behind. So I will look at daily sales in July, and I don't know if you are aware, but mainly in the pharmaceutical sales, there's usually a trend, a weekly trend, because in Sundays the values lower consistently because there's less people going to the pharmacies in Sunday. But that's not exactly what's happening here. So I will look at this from a perspective of day of week, just to make sure that if there's a specific behavior. And we can see that it's interesting because it's Friday, the day that I have usually the peak of sales. So why is this happening? Are people going on weekends? Are people going on holidays? So is there a specific trend if I look at this exact values, but from a regional perspective? And I've just added HMR region, which is a regional analysis of this. And it's, I don't know if you have been in Portugal, but we have Algarve. I would say it's one of the most known places in Portugal. This is where usually we go to have a good time in beach. So obviously we have a stronger red in areas where the sales were the biggest, and this is what's happening. So probably people in Portugal in this period of time, when we wanted to get out of our usual or our residency area, people would have to go to a pharmacy and do a test. So it's exactly what's happening. People started to go on holidays, weekends outside, and these were the areas where we had higher values of sales in these type of products, which is interesting. So probably that's what happened in July. So but I don't know if you remember, I asked SpotIQ to analyze this information. And the SpotIQ analyzed more than 2 billion rows in 10 seconds. So I've been talking with you in, I would say, I'm not exactly sure how minutes I've speak, but definitely I was speaking more than 10 seconds. So these were the number of rows that SpotIQ, ThoughtSpot, and HMRIA were analyzing. And basically, if we look at the insights that SpotIQ gave me, I'm getting exactly the same type of information that I was able to get when I continuously looked and explored the information. So we have Albufeira, which is in the Algarve, the south region of Portugal. So basically, I'm already aware of what were the regions with higher sales. This is by county instead of regions. And I also have the peak of July. So remember that I've only had the 14 million, and that's when I asked SpotIQ to analyze. So basically, I'm getting exactly the same type of information and more. This is by product, so which products were sold the most, but also how were the sales trending during the period in analysis. So this is the impact that SpotIQ can have for us, HMR, but specifically for our customers that analyze this type of information to understand where they need to go, where they need to address the market, making sure that they increase their outcomes and their business performance. And instead of, obviously, I can explore, and this is obviously one of the key features that we provide with HMRIA, but more than this is the ability to have something like SpotIQ looking at all of the data for myself and making sure that I can get very easily, quickly insights that are relevant to my business and how I want to approach and strategize my business. So this is what I wanted to show you. This is from an internal perspective, but also we provide in our website the embedded information that we also have in HMRIA. So this is our public website. I invite you to go there and see exactly how we can also have HMRIA being presented to our customers and non-customers from a public perspective, also insights and pinboards that we have embedded in our website. This is what I wanted to show you. Daniel, I will pass on to you.
I just saw Sahil asking a question about whether we also have the dashboards. And yes, we refer to them as pinboards, or think about them as live dashboards. That was the last example Filipa was showing on the screen. So there is an overlap in terms of BI capabilities to what you would expect from BI. There is also the unique sort of side of things, which is like purpose-built for search and ad hoc self-service and a few other things that we mentioned earlier. I'm just going to go ahead and share screen and sort of take you through a more generic product demo, so give you like the picture of the art of the possible here. And then I'll try to come back towards the end of the hour and look into the chat again for any more questions. But here is like my demo flow will be partly for, if you're a developer, you're going to see how we build data apps and how this resonates with you in a developer's role. But part of it is also to show you the finished product and the art of the possible to get everyone, like if you're in product management or other roles in the business and you're thinking, what can I do with this? Whether it is to add functionality into your apps today, or if you're looking for new ways to monetize on data. So all of that will be relevant. So on the screen here, I got access to ThoughtSpot, and we're not going to go into the details of how you connect to data and what you do to build visualizations from scratch. This is all part of the same platform though. So we are a BI platform. We got the data connections to your cloud data. We can start creating charts and tables and visual objects and save them as answers. And then the answers, a collection of answers can be on a pinboard. That's sort of the dashboard you're looking for possibly. Spot IQ is the AI engines page. But I'm going to be spending more time here on the developer tab, which is not only built as a playground, but also has the documentation and guidelines here and customization features. So now on the homepage, you can see the different ways of applying ThoughtSpot and embedding it. We have given you the capability to embed any of these components, embed search, the search experience that gives that ad hoc self-service capability to anyone in the in your target audience, non-technical people that can go and ask net new questions, not just prepared answers. And then you got the way to go and take existing content, whether that is the pinboard or the single answers like a chart, and put that into your application if you want. You can take the full ThoughtSpot experience, which is about embedding the full application with search page, pinboards, all of those menus as they are into your app. And finally, the API, specifically just to take the data. So that data API allows you to take the data from ThoughtSpot, but visualize it in other ways, maybe your own custom charts, for example, B3 library or other charting libraries. Let me show you a few bits and pieces. Here is where I would start looking at how to embed a pinboard. On the left, you can see how I can interact with this and then pick the sort of pinboard that I want to embed. It builds the code for me below that. That sort of allows me to just run code immediately. And this is the sort of things you can do in here to quickly get a feel for what the pinboard would look like out of the box within your own template that you have added. And there are a lot of things you can do out of the box in ThoughtSpot here. For example, if you look at the menu, you can do things such as downloading as PDFs. We refer to them as actions, and you can modify these actions if you like from the menu. So for example, I can go in here and I can say, I don't want people to be able to download a PDF. That should be sort of a, maybe a different subscription level and shouldn't be available to everyone. So I go in here, I say disable download as PDF. I can also add a reason for the users so they can understand why they don't have access to it. And then when I run that code, it sort of updates and in real time gives me a view of what it will look like. So if I would go back to the menu again on the top, you see download as PDF is grayed out, but I do get an understanding that I need a higher license here. So what I'm trying to say here is in your control, you can turn features on and off by grouping them and, upcharge people if that's what you want to do, or just make this totally permission based and not charge people if not necessary. This is the freedom and flexibility you have in terms of not just disabling actions, but also put the reason for why you're doing it. In a similar way, we can also test embedding the search capability. I'll select the same data set behind that pinboard. It's called web marketing. I run that. And what you see now updated on the screen is the data appearing. So I can go and do search. I can go and instantly try the experience that my end users will get and see what it would be looking like. And with that, you get the overlap with BI, which is, where you can also go and change chart types and adjust them. You got those capabilities on top of the full ad hoc search capability. Now, sometimes when we are on this, from the page the users start on, and before they get to the search page, we might want to pass through some initial selections. We call them search tokens. The reason to do this is, for example, it could be that you want the user to click on something on a different page, on a starting page. That could be, in my case, I'm going to add conversion in here. And the thing that it does then is that it would pass through that as a search token as well as when it lands on this page for the user. So you give the user a head start when they get onto search. They don't have to start with a blank search here. You can listen to what they click on in advance and pass that through to search. But let's move on and just have a look at this is when it's fully embedded. Here is what you can see an example of embedded ThoughtSpot. The menus, the look and feel is completely, a matter of taste and your choice in terms of the requirements of design. But what we are giving to you is the power of ThoughtSpot behind the scene to get the dashboards or pinboards, as we call them, onto here. So you get the regular things such as, we have filters on dashboards, you have the menus, you can interact with these charts. You can drill anywhere you want. The drill downs are not predefined hierarchies. As long as you got the data there, ThoughtSpot does the query generation for the user on the fly, so they can get to more insights without having technical expertise and that sort of help. There's fantastic capabilities here to go and get people onto the self-service ladder, right, with ease, without a massive, training time necessarily for that purpose. So when you're in exploration mode, the AI engine is starting to suggest to you things that you can do with that chart because it's learned from your previous usage of data. And you can also go and replace and change things. For example, I don't want a daily rate of this trend. I want to roll it up to a monthly aggregation, just one click and it's done. And if you want to go as far as giving your users a sandpit, you could do that to them so they can go and create their own pinboards. They can collect their own answers, charts, things that they want to save for their own use. So it's different levels of feature and access that you can control. So you can build different levels of product access with it. As I said, search is also fully embeddable here. So that's part of what you get, which is very unique from ThoughtSpot on top of the regular charts and pinboards that you may want to embed. Now let me take you through something here around custom actions. We talked about custom actions. It's about being able to create something that is more bespoke, not necessarily natively within ThoughtSpot. You can put custom action buttons on the top of the chart within the context of the menus that appear when you're interacting in the chart or in the menu bar. As an example, what I have here is a forecast generator. As I run this will run my data with an algorithm that is in a third-party program and generate a forecast for me. All of this is under the custom action framework that you can go and build things with. You could use this for so many different things, such as updating values and data inside the CRM system like Salesforce. You could send data to a survey platform, monkey survey, etc. It could be to take that and run something and put it into Slack, and so on and so on. So there's a lot of different ways to apply this, and sort of, you know, really build a business workflow that suits your end users and the requirements. Here we go, it's just coming back. Let's see how that looks like just before I move on. So you get an updated chart, and that's the forecast. Now, the last thing I want to show you here on the platform is, I mentioned that you just can get the data from ThoughtSpot as you like. That comes in form of pulling data in JSON format. And when you take data in form of JSON, you can, you know, create any charting library. You can use any charting libraries you want. This is not a ThoughtSpot chart. This is something that comes from a custom charting library. And in a similar way, we have customers who use the JSON and the data API to pull data from the backend for other reasons, such as following customers, understanding usage statistics on the platform, understanding user behavior. This is the way they can get data automatically from ThoughtSpot into another application where they use it. So just to round this up, for those of you who think, you know, how you can go ahead and take advantage of ThoughtSpot now, just want to say there is a lot of support for this. We have a big push, and our product development teams focus on it with a whole separate roadmap on where it's going with experience, with features underneath for this. And ThoughtSpot's ease of use, the unique search and AI capabilities, flexible pinballs are all out of the box within the platform as the BI core functionality. So you can use that and embed that into your data applications using the developer portal, embedding those functionalities, building custom actions, and all of the guidelines are here to help you to go and do all of this step by step. Now to my last few slides before I look into the chat for questions, if we get some time for that. All the documentation is there to get you fast-tracked and get started quickly. There is developer training, self-paced, instructor-led. There is a quick start guide. We'll send out these links to you guys. But most importantly, the starting point is going to thoughtspot.com/trial and get started on your free 30-day trial. You don't need to download any software. It's all hosted for you. You just need to fill in your details and have a cloud data warehouse so you can get started by connecting to that data. And this is a brand new white paper here about the elements and the essential information you need around building modern data apps with ThoughtSpot. Final thing from me, just if this might be a reminder or new for you, but our annual conference is just around the corner in November, the 16th. I know it's a little bit late for the European hours because this is hosted mainly from the US, but I would highly recommend, if you could, take some time. It's just a few hours in the evening to join this. If you want to know more about us, there is 3 persona tracks, one completely dedicated to product builders and developers for the purpose of building data apps. And you also have the roadmap sessions that are extremely useful. So that's all about us. Thank you very much for joining us here and listening. I'm going to take a quick pause here, check the chat to see if I got any questions. If Julia or Filipa have seen questions that I'm missing, please let me know.
Thank you, Daniel and Filipa. That was very insightful. I'm sure that there's a lot more to learn about what ThoughtSpot and Spot IQ can do for you and product managers, product developers, product builders out there. I think there was one question from Jay, which already Maria answered. If you want to add anything to the answer.
There is Spot IQ question about customizing it and whether it's specific to users or looking for all patterns. Well, it's got a mix of different functionality in there. Typically what we're seeing is it's more customized. It's not just about looking for things randomly for you. It's really, it sits there really well integrated into the search functionality, which is the time when you are within the context of your analytics journey need to ask for help, right? and it's very end user friendly. It's aimed to be adopted by a high volume of users who are non-technical that might see something in the chart. They don't understand the growth in a trend, or they might just know what are some of the questions they should ask out of the data set that is available to them, and they can run that. But then extending that, you can also do other things with it. You can schedule them, you can automate them if you like. But that's part of the functionality there.
Great. Thank you. If there are any other questions, please ask them now. Otherwise, we're gonna close this session. Daniel, Filipa, if anybody wants to reach out after to you, how can they find you?
Filipa, you want to go first?
Well, I'm in Lisbon, so no, joking. No,
Why not?
exactly. The sun is wonderful. Now I'm on LinkedIn, and obviously everybody can find me on LinkedIn. I can also share my email through the chat. So if there's any question regarding our use of ThoughtSpot, I'm happy to share in deeper detail how it was for us, but it's a very good experience.
Cool.
And I'm just sharing my LinkedIn page here in chat for you guys. If you want to just go there and connect, we'd love to stay connected. And yeah, looking forward to hearing from anyone that is interested to know more.
Great. Thank you very much,
Thank you
again for today and for the session. Thank you everyone for attending. See you next week when we have another session. And thank you for dedicating maybe your lunchtime to us. I hope this was insightful. For me, absolutely was. And don't forget that if you have additional questions about using ThoughtSpot, just let us know. Have a nice rest of the day, and we will be sharing the recording and additional links after.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.